Once again, Christian greetings to all our valued listeners and viewers throughout the whole world. Even more particularly to all Shepherd's Rod believers, and most especially to our beloved brothers and sisters in the United States of America. Special greetings to our brethren in Colorado, in Kansas, in Georgia, in Texas, Missouri, PG Island, in Mexico, Spain, in Africa, Kenya, Pakistan, to the United Kingdom, and also to our brethren in Australia. And to the rest of the 144,000 living saints scattered abroad, greetings. May the good Lord bless you, brothers and sisters. This is our episode number 44 on the subject, the chronological order of events. And upon the special request of our beloved brother Steve and sister Corinne, and to the rest of the brethren who are listening and viewing this program, may the good Lord bless you, brothers and sisters. And this is a continuation concerning the fulfillment of Ezekiel 9 in the chart of such 12 figurative months. Let us go back again. So, in this chart, to repeat again, you can read the label, fulfillment of Ezekiel 9. Then you can see number 5, meaning the expiration of the 5 symbolical months. And then you can see the arrow pointing here between 6 and 7. This is September and this is October. So it is September 16 because the divine pattern is 16. October 16. Then we have April 16. And to repeat again, brothers and sisters, the term fulfillment of Ezekiel 9 points out different periods of time. And at this time, let us focus our attention to the fulfillment of Ezekiel 9, which is the expiration of the 5 symbolical months. Or such fulfillment of Ezekiel 9 will fall on September 16. We already explained that in every time prophecy, there is always a given clue. So, the given clue in this subject the 12 figurative months is the first 6 figurative months. Let us read again tract number 5 on page 74. In tract number 3, the harvest, the time from the baptism of Christ to the close of provision is shown to be illustrated by 12 figurative months. 6 from Christ's baptism to his crucifixion. 5 from the crucifixion to the ingathering of the first fruits, the 144,000. Revelation 14 verse 4. Leaving 1 month for the ingathering of the second fruits, the great multitude. Revelation 7 verse 9. And in studying this wonderful subject, we need always to follow the inviolable rule of interpretation, as stated in answerer number 3, page 41, saying, let us remember always to observe the inviolable rule that an interpretation of one inspired statement must harmonize with all other related statements. Or, in other words, we need to harmonize the entire Shepherd's Rod publications. Now, since according to tract number 5, page 74, the given clue is the first 6 figurative months by saying from Christ's baptism to his crucifixion. And according to the Shepherd's Rod, in tract number 3, on page 57, it says, the fact having been established, see illustration on page 55, that the 3.5 years of Christ's ministry terminated on the 16th day of the first month, then counting 3.5 years, of course, backward, follow on the illustration on page 55, we find that his baptism took place on the 16th day of the 7th month, which was in the week of Tabernacles, and the celebration of which was the end of the agricultural year, the close of the harvest. So, that is very plain. The first 6 figurative months commence from Christ's baptism, October 16, to his crucifixion, April 16. But in the great controversy, 327, let us read, it says 326 and 327. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. The week here brought to view is the last one of the 70. It is the last 7 years of the period alluded, especially to the Jews. During this time, extending from AD 27 to AD 34, Christ, at first in person and afterward by his disciple, extended the gospel invitation especially to the Jews as the apostles went forth with the good tidings of the kingdom. The Savior's direction was, go not into the way of the Gentiles and into any city of the Samaritans. Enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Matthew 10 verse 5 and 6. In the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. In AD 31, 3.5 years after his baptism, our Lord was crucified. So, in the great controversy, the given information is the year. But in track number 3, page 57, the given information is the date and the month. So to join together, we can easily understand that from October 16, 27 AD to April 16, 31 AD, there are exactly 1,260 days. 1,260 days. And that is the given clue. So that we could comprehend completely the subject of the 5 symbolical months, which is in reality the particular object in view in the subject of the 7 trumpets, as stated in Revelation chapter 9, verses 5 and verse 6. Now let us read Revelation chapter 9, verses 5 and 6. It says here, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Revelation 9 verse 5 and 6. We know that Revelation 9 verse 5 and 6 is a description under the 5th trumpet. So, we need to focus our attention to the 5 symbolical months, but there is no possibility that we could be able to comprehend the 5 symbolical months without the given clue. And the given clue is the 6 figurative months. And in that subject, of course, we will be dealing numbers. In one as our pocket edition, page 37, it says that the Bible reveals its tremendous truths in diverse ways. First, in numerics, in symbols, and figures, in parables, and allegories, in dreams and visions, in types and providences. So in this reading, there are 9 diverse ways, 9 mediums employed by God to reveal the plan of redemption. And the very first one that had been mentioned is by numerics. I remember the statement in track number 3, 1934 edition, on page 64. It says, numerical illustration of ingathering. So it says, numerical illustration of ingathering. Now, this statement, I do fully believe that the statement saying, do not regard lightly the wisdom of God. His illustrations are perfect. Because God is an infallible God. According to 1 SR 232, it says, as God is infallible, all His works spell perfection even to one jot or one tittle. So if we will be dealing with numbers, the illustration must be perfect. But it is only at the divinely appointed time. And in 1 SR 244, it says, it is wonderful to note the inspiration of the scriptures. Perfect they are when their appointed time is come. So when the appointed time is come, that is the time by which you can apply the scriptures perfectly, accordingly to the illustration. And to repeat again, brothers and sisters, since we will be dealing with numbers, then the given clue must be our key to unlock this very important prophecy, the 5 symbolical months. Now, I would like to show again the this simple illustration, brothers and sisters. I thought you found that diagram, but as you can see, 1,260 days divided by 6. Now, so I would like to make an illustration while they were looking at that diagram. So this is Christ's baptism, October 16, 27 AD. And Christ's crucifixion, April 16, 31 AD. This is exactly 1,260 days by which the shepherd's rod made it so plain on track number 5, page 74. This is the first 6 figurative months. Figurative months. Okay, so we have that illustration. Now, let us go to our little diagram. So let us go first to the clue. October 16, 27 AD, hoping that you could place Christ's baptism, and this one is crucifixion. From Christ's baptism to His crucifixion, the 6 figurative months. And Christ was baptized October 16, 27 AD. And Jesus Christ was crucified April 16, 31 AD. And even on the chart of BT Hotep, let us go to the chart. Let's go to the chart. You see, October 16, Christ baptized. But according to the Great Controversy 327, it occurred in 27 AD. Then, let's go to, so, that is Christ's crucifixion. April 16, 31 AD. Exactly 1,260 days. So, through the given clue, then it's easy to comprehend. Let us go back to our diagram. So, it must be, since this period of time is 1,260 days, that is 6 figurative months, then let us divide 1,260 days divided by 6 equals 210. Then to check, 210 times 6 equals 1,260 days. So, that is, brothers and sisters, the entire period of the 6 figurative months. Then, through the given clue, we can easily comprehend that each parabolic month consists of 210 days. Now, no one, I hope that no one would disagree that 6 is bigger than 5, or 6 is greater than 5, or 6 is more than 5. And 5 is less than 6. Therefore, in the perfect fulfillment of the prophecy, brothers and sisters, the 5 figurative months, to find out the exact number of days, then let us multiply 210 times 5. So, 210 times 5, then that would be, you see here, 210 times 5, that would be 1,050 days. That is the reality. Even though you will go to any mathematician, that is the actuality, brothers and sisters. So I would like to read again track number 5. Track number 5 on page 34. Track number 5, page 34. It says, fulfilled prophecies are seen therefore to be employed by the scriptures only as groundwork for that part of prophecy which is yet to be fulfilled. So, in studying the trumpet study, let us distinctly separate the groundwork and the particular object in view. And the groundwork are those fulfilled prophecies which is employed by the scriptures only as groundwork. In tract number 5, page 32, it says, the statements which must shortly come to pass, Revelation 1 verse 1, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter, Revelation 4 verse 1, go to say that the revelation is given with the one particular object in view of showing the things lying not behind but ahead of John's time, with reference being made only incidentally to the past in order to lay the necessary foundation upon which to build the future. So the statement here is very plain that as far as the book of Revelation is thus concerned, the perfect fulfillment of the prophecy recorded therein must be fulfilled ahead of John's time and not backward. Because the Bible is very plain, hereafter. But the absolute fact is that, according to the shepherd's rod, in more specific terms, the word hereafter is pointing directly to 1844. Now let us read 2SR 191. Therefore, the word hereafter in Revelation chapter 4 verse 1 means from the time of the vision, pointing forward to 1844. 2SR page 191. Therefore, the particular object in view of the book of Revelation, it must be from 1844 onwards. So, whatever application that had been made in the past, from 1844 backwards, that is only the groundwork to build the necessary foundation of the particular object in view. And that is the very subject that we are studying at this present time. Brothers and sisters, let us distinctly separate the groundwork of the 5 symbolical months and the particular object in view. Without any doubts, the particular object in view is the 144,000 living saints. And that is the reason that there is a comparison with the first fruits on the first advent of Jesus Christ, which is the 120 disciples, and the first fruits, which is the 144,000 living saints. And we can read that in the writings of B.T. Hotep. For example, I would like to read here in 2SR number 46. So let us read this statement given by let me see. 2TG rather, I'm sorry. 2TG 46. So let us read 2TG. It says here, and just to show that there is total comparison between the 120 disciples and the 144,000 living saints. So here in 2TG 46, I think it is page 28. So let's read the statement given by the shepherd's rod. It says, accordingly, the antitypical pre-Pentecostal harvest takes place in a self-deceived church, the Laodicean, the house of God. And through miracle working power manifested by heaven itself through the angels, Matthew 13:39, it yields the 144,000, the first fruits of those who are never to die. Whereas the antitypical post-Pentecostal harvest takes place among the nations and through miracle working power manifested by the Spirit-filled 144,000, it yields the great multitude which no man could number, Revelation 7:9, the second fruits of those who are never to die. Now, the same with the illustration in, let us go to page 27. It says, to get into the full beam of light, we must first face the fact that the pre-Pentecostal harvest took place in a self-deceived church, the Jewish. And through miracle working power manifested by Christ Himself, it yielded the 120 disciples, the first fruits of those who are to be resurrected. Whereas the post-Pentecostal harvest took place among the nations, and through miracle power manifested by the 120 Spirit-filled disciples, it yielded an innumerable multitude of converts to Christianity, the second fruits of those who are to be resurrected. 2 TG 46, 27, 28, and 29. So, that is the perfect and complete comparison between the 120 disciples, the first fruits, on the first advent of Jesus Christ, and the 144,000 living saints, first fruit, on the second advent of Jesus Christ. Now, let us go back to our subject concerning the 5 symbolical months. Now, since we are studying trumpets study, I would like to read again track number 5, page 26. Symbolical or literal, which? Only when this question is rightly answered will we have the key, the correct interpretation to unlock this great symbolical treasure house of truth. And in page 41, it says, for if every term is not symbolical, how shall we differentiate those which are from those which are not? And how shall we know by which to define the truth? Track number 5, page 26 and page 41. So that reading, we can easily understand that the trumpet study, every term must be symbolical. Therefore, brothers and sisters, the statement 5 from the crucifixion to the ingathering of the 144,000 in the perfect fulfillment of the prophecy, it could not be the literal crucifixion of Jesus Christ. Now, let us now enumerate one by one. Why is it that that literal crucifixion of Jesus Christ is only the groundwork? That is not the perfect fulfillment of the prophecy. In the subject, the trumpets study, because the trumpet study is a symbolical prophecy, not literal. Now, for example, let us read in track number 5 on page. Let's read the statement given by the voice of inspiration. It says, page 32 in track number 5, and then page 35. It says, this basic truth that each period of destruction follows only after a corresponding period of sealing is corroborated by the fact that the symbolical locust which came up at the sounding of the fifth trumpet hurt only those men which had not the seal of God in their foreheads. All this shows not only that each trumpet follows its sealing period, but also that the nature of the trumpets reveals the punishment of those who failed to receive the seal in their particular periods. On page 35, track number 5, it says, naturally then, the first seal must precede the first trumpet, the second seal, the second trumpet, and so on, like the needle and the shuttle, rather than that all 7 seals must precede all 7 trumpets. So, in the particular object in view, in the perfect fulfillment of the prophecy, the 5th trumpet must follow the 5th seal. The 5th seal must precede the 5th trumpet. Now let us read at 2SR 221. It says, summary of commencement and termination of seals. The first seal covers the entire period from Adam to the flood. The second from the flood to Abraham. The third from Abraham to Christ. The fourth from Christ to 1500 AD. Then the 5th seal from 1500 AD to 1755 AD. So that is the 5th seal, brothers and sisters. Accordingly, the 5th seal commenced in 1500 AD up to 1755. This is the 5th seal. But the 5th trumpet commenced on the first advent of Jesus Christ 4 BC. Therefore, it could not be the perfect fulfillment of the prophecy because it is contrary to the proper application of the prophecy. The trumpet, the 5th trumpet, precede the 5th seal. Whereas the shepherd's rod says, it must be that the 5th seal must precede the 5th trumpet. The 5th trumpet should follow the 5th seal. So that is very plain, brothers and sisters. But the absolute fact is that the occurrence takes place on earth. Both the 5th trumpet and the 5th seal. And that is the reason that it is only the groundwork. Because the main prophetic event must take place in the heavenly sanctuary. Now, I would like to read track number 5, page 34. It says, fulfilled prophecies, track number 5, page 34. Fulfilled prophecies are seen, therefore, to be employed by the scriptures only as groundwork for that part of prophecy which is yet to be fulfilled. In the main, however, the trumpets and the seals portray an event which is future from John's time and which takes place in heaven. So the main particular object in view, the main prophetic event, it takes place in heaven. Both the 7 seals and the 7 trumpets. Therefore, in the divine principle, we can easily understand that the fifth trumpet must be fulfilled after the fifth seal, or after the fifth seal was opened, brothers and sisters. Because the seven seals are consecutively broken, or in other words, gradually and consecutively opened since 1844. According to track number 15, I would like to read. So let us read track number 15 on page 10. It says, it being in 7 sections, each section individually sealed. 7 seals in all are consecutively broken, permitting each section to unfold its own contents. So that is very plain in that reading, brothers and sisters, that each seal is consecutively broken. So it is arranged by God in its proper order. So through the established divine principle given by the shepherd's rod, we need to have a definite understanding when thus the proceedings of the fifth seal is finished. Because at that time, then that is the time by which the commencement or the fulfillment of the fifth trumpet on its perfect fulfillment. And that is why the shepherd's rod declared here in 2SR 200. Let's read the statement given by the voice of inspiration. Here in 2SR on page 201, let us read the statement. This book contains the names of the saints, and the 7 seals comprise prophetically the world's history, during which time the saints are sealed. These 7 periods of unfulfilled history sealed the book, and the only one that could open it, see into the future, was the Lamb. Why is it that it says 7 periods of unfulfilled history? Why is it that it says it is unfulfilled, in spite of the fact that it is called history? Plainly indicating that the statement unfulfilled history is pointing to the particular object in view. Brothers and sisters, it was unfulfilled from 1844. The perfect fulfillment must be from 1844 onwards. And more particularly to our subject, the 5 symbolical months. Now, I would like to read, brothers and sisters, track number 5. Here in track number 5, page 74, it says, so let us read. Track number 5, page 74. The fact, too, that the trumpets are figurative is another evidence that these 5 months are figurative time. Because if it is literal months, then it is only 150 days, because 5 months times 30, every month 30 days, so that is 150 days. But this is not 150 days because it is symbolical. But since the given clue is the 6 figurative months, so the exact number of the 5 symbolical months, brothers and sisters, must be 1,050 days. Because 210 times 5 equals 1,050 days. Now let us read again the statement in track number 5, page 74. It says, "It will be noted that the 144,000 are called the first fruits." So the 144,000 are called the first fruits, denoting that they are sealed at the beginning of the harvest, the commencement of the time to separate the tares from the wheat. To the parable of the harvest, then we must go for the full explanation of the 5 months period. So hoping that we could be able now to give you the full explanation of the 5 months period. Then it says, in track number 3, the harvest, the time from the baptism of Christ to the close of provision is shown to be illustrated by 12 figurative months. 6 from Christ's baptism to His crucifixion. How many days from Christ's baptism to His crucifixion? 1,260 days. Or exactly 3.5 years or 42 months. That is the entire period of the 6 figurative months. Since Christ's illustrations are perfect, then logically, in numerics, to find out how many days each parabolical month, then you need to divide 1,260 divided by 6 equals 210. Or 210 times 6 equals 1,260 days. Therefore, each parabolical month consists only of 210 days. Because the literal month consists only 30 days. But the one parabolical month consists of 210 days. Then it is not difficult to find out the entire period of the 5 symbolical months by multiplying 210 times 5 equals 1,050 days. So that is very plain, brothers and sisters. Now, let us go back again to our reading. Track number 5, page 74. In track number 3, the harvest, the time from the baptism of Christ to the close of provision is shown to be illustrated by 12 figurative months, 6 from Christ's baptism to His crucifixion, 5 from the crucifixion to the ingathering of the first fruits, the 144,000. Revelation 14 verse 4. Then it says, leaving 1 month for the ingathering of the second fruits, the great multitude. Revelation 7 verse 9. Let us distinctly separate the term gathered and ingathering. Because the word ingathering, let us define the word ingathering. That is a period of time, process of gathering. So, the word ingather, that is a verb, brothers and sisters. And of course, ingathering is verb in ing form. And that is progressive, ingathering. So, then the statement is easy to understand, brothers and sisters, that there must be 1,050 days. Then after the 1,050 days, commence the ingathering of the 144,000. So there must be 1,050 days. Brothers and sisters, according to the voice of inspiration. Because the statement, from crucifixion, 5 months. What is 5 months? 1,050 days. So, 1,050 days. Then after, when the 1,050 days ended, then commenced the ingathering of the 144,000. Ingathering of the 144,000. So we need to establish, when does the 1,050 days expire? It says that should be on September 16, according to the chart of B.T. Hotep. But it could not be literal September 16. Otherwise, it could no longer be symbolical. It must be, brothers and sisters, symbolical September 16. Not literal. But in this study, God provided us, brothers and sisters, concerning that September 16. There are two symbolical September 16. Now first, what is our given clue? The commencement of the 1,000, the commencement of the 5 symbolical months. Protection. That is the given clue. Let us read again the shepherd's rod. Track number 5. Page 74. It says, 5 from the crucifixion to the ingathering of the first fruits. So from crucifixion, there must be 5 months. Then after that 5 months, commence the ingathering of the 144,000 living saints. Now, brothers and sisters, what is the given clue of the 5 symbolical months? Crucifixion. When does Jesus Christ was crucified? April 16, 31 AD. But that is only the given clue to find out what month does September 16 as a symbolical September 16. What month? Now, it's easy. Look at the divine formula given by God. This is the given clue. Christ baptism, October 16, 27 AD. Christ crucifixion, April 16, 31 AD. 1,260 days. This is 6 figurative months. Figurative months. Then to find out the exact number of each figurative month, then we need to divide 1,260 divided by 6 equals 210. And if you will multiply 210 times 6 equals 1,260. Therefore, the 5 symbolical months, it must be 210 times 5 equals 1,050 days. 1,050 days. What is the starting point of the 1,050 days? Crucifixion, meaning April 16, Friday. But not 31 AD because that is only the given clue. Now to find out what is symbolical September 16, let us go to timeanddeath.com. April 16, 31 AD. Then let us add 1,050 days. 1050. So that is in Bible calendar, March 16, Friday. Because the divine pattern in the 12 figurative months, all of them are Friday. Jesus Christ was baptized October 16, 27 AD, Friday. Jesus Christ was crucified April 16, 31 AD, Friday. And notice, let us go back to our diagram. Notice, brothers and sisters, only the period of time which is figurative, but the month is literal, not figurative month, because Jesus Christ was baptized October 16, 27 AD. That October is literal October. Jesus Christ was crucified April 16, 31 AD. That April 16 is literal April 16. So the only figurative here is the period of time. But in the 5 symbolical months, all of them are symbolical. September 16 must be symbolical. The period of time must be symbolical. Now, let us go back to timeanddeath.com. April 16, 31 AD, 1,050 days. Because that is the entire period of the 5 symbolical months. Then you will fall on March 16, and that is Friday. Not all March 16 is Friday. Only pattern number 1. And that is why very important the Bible pattern calendar. Therefore, we now completely establish that the symbolical month, September 16, is March 16. Now, here's another symbolical month, brothers and sisters, which we called it the seasonal calendar. Now, let us read answerer number 3. Answerer number 3. So we need to study closely, brothers and sisters, because it is very important. It says here in answerer number 3, page 11, beginning its first month of the year with the first new moon at or after the vernal equinox, March 2021, it puts the 14th day that on which the Passover lamb was to be slain on April 3. Now, here another statement in page 15. Answer number 3. For the Passover week was observed from the 14th day to the 21st day of the first month of the Hebrew year, beginning with the vernal equinox, March 2021, the time of the year when the day and the night are equal. Now, we would like to show to you that diagram concerning seasonal calendar. So, let us show this one. And we can send to you this illustration because it is very helpful. And look at, brothers and sisters. So this is the seasonal calendar in Gregorian calendar. So according to the Shepherd's Rod, March 20 is April 1. So you can have this in numeration one by one. Then let us go to the last part. Therefore, the symbolical September 16 in seasonal calendar must be September 4. So, if these three will be aligned perfectly, then that is the given sign by God that that is the expiration of the 5 symbolical months. March 16 on Bible calendar, September 16 in Gregorian calendar, and September 4 on seasonal calendar, and then it must be Friday. It happens only once in a lifetime to secure our brothers and sisters. To secure this truth, God never allowed that this occurrence will happen except only on that divinely appointed time. Ponder deeply, brothers and sisters. Now, and that event occurred in 2020. Now, let us look at the calendar on 2020. We would like to show to you, brothers and sisters, and we are not bothered to those who will oppose this message because the time is very short. And we will be either leap for joy or gnash our teeth. Now let us look at the calendar in timeanddeath.com. So, September 4, Gregorian calendar. September 4th, 2020. You see, that is March 16 in Bible calendar. So, September 4, 2020, there is no other year, brothers and sisters, that September 4 to or March 16 in Bible calendar. Let us reverse. Bible calendar. March 16. Is it 2021? 2021. Bible calendar, March 16, 2021. In seasonal calendar, Gregorian, that is September 4, 2020. What is September 4? In seasonal calendar, that is September 16. So, September 16 was illustrated by two symbolical months. Bible calendar. So, if we will ask the question, what is the symbolical September 16 in Bible calendar? That is March 16. What is the symbolical September 16 on seasonal calendar, Gregorian calendar? That is September 4. And that occurrence, let me see, although I did not know when will it happen again, brothers and sisters, but for sure, it will take thousands of years before it will repeat again. That September 4 in Gregorian calendar is Friday, and March 16 in Bible. For example, let us go to Gregorian calendar, just to show to them. For example, succeeding 7 years. September 4, 2021. You see, that is in Bible calendar, that is March 21. And that is not March 16. And secondly, that is Saturday. Now, 2022, September 4, 2022. You see, that is Sunday. And that is March 26 in Gregorian, in Bible calendar. How about 2023? You see, that is Monday. And that is April in Bible calendar. How about 2024? You see, that is Wednesday. And that is April in Bible calendar. How about 2025? You see, that is Thursday. And that is April. Brethren, it happens only once in a lifetime. Although, I do not know if I had been able to explain it clearly. I would like to repeat again. The expiration of the 5 symbolical months must be symbolical, not literal. The given clue is September 16. But this September 16, that is literal. We are studying symbolical month. So what is the symbolical September 16? The given clue is from crucifixion. When does the crucifixion occur? April 16. How many days? How many days the 5 symbolical months? 1,050 days. Let us go back again to timeanddeath.com so that we could understand. Bible calendar. April 16. 31 AD. The given clue. Then plus 1,050 days. Then you will fall on March 16. Therefore, March 16 is the symbolical September 16. But it must be Friday. Because the divine principle must be Friday. But in order for us to establish our faith perfectly without any doubts, God provided 2 symbols. The other is the seasonal calendar. And that is September 4. Therefore, when September 4 in Gregorian calendar, in Bible calendar, that should be March 16, and that is Friday, then that is the divinely appointed time, because it will never happen again. It will never happen again, brothers and sisters. It will take thousands of years to repeat such occurrence. Now, let us go to the timeanddeath.com. Gregorian calendar. September 4, 2020. Then we will count backward 1,050 days. You see, you will fall on April 16, Friday. Although the year is 2019, then we can declare clearly that April 16, 2019 AD, in Gregorian calendar, that is October 20, 2017, that very day, the figurative crucifixion of Jesus Christ in spiritual Egypt and spiritual Sodom occurred. Although that is still a little deep study, but at this time, what we are studying, brothers and sisters, is the period of time. If God allowed that September 4, 2020, which is March 16 on Bible calendar, to be repeated usually, then we cannot establish, brothers and sisters, such impregnable proofs. But God guard that one predicted event, the expiration of the 5 symbolical months, by which at that time commenced the ingathering of the 144,000, leaving 1 month for the ingathering of the great multitude. But that occurrence is in the heavenly sanctuary. Now, let us go to timeanddeath.com. September 4, 2020. Let us add 210 days because it says living 1 month. Then you will fall in April 2, 2021, which is in Bible calendar, that is October 16, 2022. You see, that is perfect, brothers and sisters, because when does the ingathering of the Gentiles in the first advent of Jesus Christ? October 16, 34 AD, Friday. And this is also Friday, the same pattern. I would like to connect, brothers and sisters. The book of Daniel. Brethren, there are plenty of proofs in abundance to prove to you that we are living in the very nick of time. Well, it's up to you whether you will accept this message or not. That is not our responsibility. Our only duty is to proclaim this message, brothers and sisters. Now, I would like to read to you Prophets and Kings. Prophets and Kings. 554. It says, through another vision, further light was thrown upon the events of the future. And it was at the close of this vision that Daniel heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision? Daniel 8 verse 13, the answer that was given, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. That is very plain. Verse 14, filled him with perplexity. Earnestly he sought for the meaning of the vision. He could not understand the relation sustained by the 70 years captivity as foretold through Jeremiah to the 2,300 years that in vision he heard the heavenly visitant declare should elapse before the cleansing of God's sanctuary. The angel Gabriel gave him a partial interpretation. Yet when the prophet heard the words, the vision shall be for many days, he fainted away. I, Daniel, fainted. He records of his experience and was sick. Certain days afterward, I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood. Now, I would like to focus to the statement, Daniel could not understand the relation sustained by the 70 years captivity as foretold through Jeremiah to the 2,300 years. How about us? Did we understand the relation of the 70 years to the 2,300 years? Of course, brethren, the promise that was given by God to Daniel must be to the things by which Daniel desired to understand. And the mere fact that Daniel wished to understand what is the relation between the 70 years and the 2,300 days and nights, and what is the relation of the 70 weeks with the 2,300 days and nights. The promise must be pointing to the point by which Daniel do not understand. Now let me read to you 1 TG. Number 11, pages 7 and 8. So let us read. It is concerning Zechariah chapter 1 verse 12. 1 TG 11, page 7 and page 8. Then the angel of the Lord answered and said, O Lord of hosts, how long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which thou hast had indignation these 70 years? So it is 70 years. Zechariah 1 verse 12. Then it says, the prophet Jeremiah's prediction that the Jews were to spend 70 years in Babylonian captivity had ended, although they were still in Babylon. But since this symbolical prophecy, so what is the 70 years mentioned in Zechariah 1 verse 12? It is not literal 70 years, but symbolical prophecy. But since this symbolical prophecy finds its fulfillment in our day, instead of in Zechariah's day, the angels plea for mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, therefore find its direct application in this day. There is, however, this parallel. The time the Babylonian captivity overlapped some years the time of returning to Jerusalem. In like manner, John's prediction that the church should return to the vineyard after having spent 1,260 years in the wilderness, in the lands of the Gentiles, Revelation 12 verse 6 had ended and even overlapped since the year 1798, and there was no sign as yet for her returning. And as the denomination was in no condition to accept additional truth, the results are that the church still in the wilderness, concerning which inspiration said, if the people of God had gone to work as they should have gone to work right after Minneapolis meeting in 1888, the world could have been won in 2 years and the Lord would have come. General Conference Bulletin, 1892. Now, look at, brothers and sisters, the parallelism given by the shepherd's rod. From 538 AD to 1798 AD, that is 1,260 years. The woman did not return from wilderness to the vineyard not until 1800 AD. The vineyard mentioned here is the modern vineyard. That is the United States of America. So, there are 2 years. The same with the Babylonian captivity from 606, according to the shepherd's rod, from 608 BC to 538 BC. Uh, 608 minus 70. 538 BC. The 70 years ended. But they did not return to Jerusalem not until 536 BC. So, there is a parallelism. The same, brothers and sisters, with Zechariah chapter 1 verse 12, by which that number 70 is not literal, the 70 years, but rather there must be 70 jubilees. And one jubilee, we know, 50 years. Therefore, 70 times 50 equals 3,500 years. So that is very plain, brothers and sisters. That is 3,500 years. So here, brothers and sisters, the voice of inspiration is plainly telling us that the same occurrence there is a perfect parallelism between the Babylonian captivity, but this Babylonian captivity is literal 70 years. This Dark Ages is symbolical because this is 1,260 days. And being symbolical, it is 1,260 years. And also this is symbolical, not literal 70 years. It must be 70 jubilees, and that must be 3,500 years. If we could be able to get the starting point of this 3,500 years, then we will be able to know when does the end part of this 3,500 years. But from the time it will be ended, it will take, brothers and sisters, 2 years to our deliverance to Mount Zion. So that is very plain. And it's easy, brothers and sisters, because in Bible calendar, that deliverance must be in 2024. Then, let us subtract 3,500 minus 2024. Then, it must be 2024 minus 2. Then, 2022. Then, 3,500 minus 2022. Then you will fall in 1477 BC. From 1477 BC to 2022. But this is Bible calendar. In Gregorian calendar, 2022, that is 2021, and this is 2022. Gregorian calendar. What happened in 1477 BC? That is the time by which God commanded Moses, brothers and sisters, when God commanded Moses to build a sanctuary. So we are talking about, brothers and sisters, from history to prophecy. 70 jubilees. From wilderness to wilderness. Let us go back to another angle of our study. Here, brothers and sisters, I would like to go back again to that expiration of the 5 symbolical months. To repeat again, the expiration of the 5 symbolical months, it must be Friday. The expiration of the 5 symbolical months, it must be March 16. But September 4 on Gregorian calendar. Because September 4, in seasonal calendar, that is September 16. September 16, in Bible calendar, that should be March 16, the symbolical September 16. So, God provided us, brothers and sisters, this infallible fruit due to the fact that it will never be repeated again. It will never be repeated again, brothers and sisters. That September 4 on Gregorian calendar, which is Friday, on Bible calendar, March 16. There is always September 4 in every year, but it is not March 16 on Bible calendar. And to repeat that occurrence, let us see when would be that occurrence will be repeated again. We have 2020 plus 3287. Let us 5,307. September 4, 5,307. You see, still, that is not March 16. Now, how about 2020 plus 5837? 2020 plus 5837. 7857. So that is March 16. So it will repeat again on 7,857 AD. So it will take 7,000 years from, let us subtract, 7857 times 2,000. So it takes 5,837 from this year. You think our world will extend to 5,837 years from this time? Because that is the time that it will be repeated again. Brothers and sisters, that March 16, Friday, in Gregorian calendar, that is September 4. So that is the year that it will repeat again. That the symbolical September 16, March 16 in Bible calendar, and September 4 in Gregorian calendar, it will repeat again on 7857 AD. 5,837 years from this year. Almost 6,000 years. Then our world will be 12,000 years. And we are very thankful to the Lord that God is really wonderful. God is a perfect God. In order for us not to doubt the expiration of the 5 symbolical months, God put it in a date by which it happens once in a lifetime. Never be repeated in the usual years. Can you imagine that that occurrence will be repeated again on 7857 AD? 7,857? Brothers and sisters, it takes 5,837 years from this year. Without any doubts, brethren, September 40, 2020, the commencement of the ingathering of the 144,000 living saints. Where? What is the first work of the ingathering? Of course, to seal their names in the Lamb's Book of Life. So such ingathering takes place in the heavenly sanctuary. September 4, 2020. When does the 5th seal ended? April 1, 2020. Let us show to you, brothers and sisters, the chronology in the most holy place. So, let us show that diagram. Do you have? Okay. So you see, the fifth seal ended on April 1, 2020. And what is the statement given by the shepherd's rod? The fifth trumpet must begin after the fifth seal, because the fifth seal precedes the fifth trumpet. And what is the 5 symbolical months? That is under the fifth trumpet. So that is very plain, brothers and sisters. So it must be on September 4, 2020, that is the commencement of the ingathering of the 144,000, leaving 1 month for the ingathering of the great multitude. It did not say that the gathering of the great multitude is only 210 days. No, that is not. But rather, so let us, September 4, 2020. Then let us add 210 days. That would be on Gregorian calendar, April 2, 2021. In Bible, that is October 16, 2022. That is 210 days. Therefore, on April 2, that is in the heavenly sanctuary, April 2, 2021, which is in Bible calendar, that is October 16, 2022, this is the commencement of the ingathering of the great multitude, meaning the inscription of their names in the Lamb's Book of Life. Because the cleansing of the sanctuary must be on March 27, 2021. And in Bible calendar, that is October 10, 2022. So there are 7 days from the time when the Lamb's Book of Life had been completely cleansed, to the time when the names of the great multitude will be inscribed into that book. What is that 7 days? Half hour silence. Now, let us focus our attention to the half hour silence. Half hour silence. Let me see if we have that diagram. Concerning 197. Okay. And that chart we will also send to you. So this is September 4, 2020. This is holy place. The upper one is most holy place. This is holy place. So from September 4, 2020 up to March 27, 2021, brothers and sisters, because April 2, 2021, that is the end part of the 210 days. So there are 7 days half-hour silence. As far as the shepherd's rod is thus concerned, there are 4 half-hour silence. Brothers and sisters. So, there are 4 half-hour silence. And every half-hour silence, there is changes. The first change is that the sea of glass, which is clear as crystal, changes, become mingled with fire. The next half-hour silence, the sea of glass, which is mingled with fire, became fiery stream. The third half-hour silence, the sea of glass mingled with fire, became fiery stream. The saints stand on it. And we will discuss the last half-hour silence, which is the general close of provision on the symbolical earth, not on the literal earth, brothers and sisters. So in this study, from September 4, 2020 to March 27, 2021, this is the last day of atonement, by which in Bible calendar, it is October 10, 2022. All the names of the wicked under the congregation of the living will be completely blotted out. And then, brothers and sisters, all the books by which the names of the wicked are written in that book will be taken out from the second heaven, and it will be transferred to the first heaven. So there are 7 days half-hour silence. And that 7 days is to completely cleanse the entire sanctuary in the second heaven, represented by the holy place. Now, I would like to read track number 5. Let us read page 74 and 75. During the 5 figurative months, the locusts were commanded to torment those who had not the seal of God. Brothers and sisters, you will not say to torment those who had not the seal of God if their opportunity to receive the seal did not as yet commence. I would like to show to you an example. And we'll continue it on our next episode. For example, this human being, we will say, they did not receive the seal of God. Of course, the other is, they received the seal of God. So there must be a group of people here by which God commanded them to torment those people that did not receive the seal of God. Not to the people who received the seal of God. And it is pointing to the sealing under the judgment that pertains to the living. You cannot say they did not receive the seal of God if the sealing period did not as yet commence and brothers and sisters, the opportunity of being sealed did not as yet came to their lives. To say that they did not receive the seal of God indicates that the opportunity in which to receive the seal is past and they failed to receive the seal of God. And that sealing, brothers and sisters, is in the heavenly sanctuary. What is the statement? During the 5 figurative months from September 4, 2020 up to March 27, 2021, within this period of time, which is the sealing of the 144,000, brothers and sisters, some failed to receive the seal of God, but some obtained the seal of God. And on March 27, 2021, all of them who failed to receive the seal of the living God, by which such sealing occurred in the heavenly sanctuary, their names will be blotted out in the Lamb's book of life. Now, I would like to read the statement in the Bible. Revelation chapter 9. It says, page 5. Verse 5 rather. And to them it was given that they should not kill them. But it is not literal because it is symbolical prophecy. What does it mean that God commanded His people not to kill them? Now let us read the Bible. 1 John chapter 3 verse 15. Whosoever hateth his brother is a murderer, and ye know that no murderer hath eternal life abiding in him. And it is perfectly corroborated with a statement in tract number 5. Let us read again the statement. It says here, in tract number 5, on page 75, these several linked facts present a solid chain of evidence that in the Christian era, during the 5 figurative months, God has deferred His vengeance to grace. And hence it follows inescapably that such Christians as executed the death penalty upon those who disagreed with them were working against Christ rather than for Him. For as Christians, locos, they were commanded not to kill, but to bless even those who despitefully use them. Indeed, to him who smite them on the one cheek, they were to turn the other cheek. And if he should take away their cloak, they were to let him have their coat also. Luke 6 verse 28 and 29. Or in other words, the bottom line is that love your enemy. Matthew chapter 5. That is what it means by that divine command. We should not speak evil to other people. To be a part of that 144,000 living saints. It says here in Matthew chapter 5 on verse 44, it says, "But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you." Matthew 5 verse 44. So, for example, we had been persecuted, and there are many Davidians that speaking evil against us. But God commanded His people to love them, and we need to pray for them, and we need to bless them, not to speak evil against them. That is the divine command, according to the voice of inspiration. And, brethren, there are plenty of proofs. The evidences are in abundance, and we will gradually share it to you, episode by episode. So we will continue this subject on our next episode, and hoping that God would help us and would bless us. We love you, brethren. And do not allow the enemy to steal the remaining probationary time in our lives. Because there is a brother that communicated with me, and he expressed his eagerness to listen to this message. And he is a Davidian. But when the leaders of that movement by which he belongs told him, "Do not listen to that man," and then speak evil, many negative things, he is a false prophet because he make predictions never happen. But he did not ask to us concerning those accusations. Immediately he dropped, and he no longer listened to us. So that is very sad, because we are not using our own mind and our own freedom to decide, brothers and sisters. So, B.T. Hotep says, I would like to read this last reading. In General Conference Special on page 9 and page 10, it says, "Then too, no one should forget that when anyone joins the Adventist Church, he does so if he is in his right mind without the approval of his former ministers." For example, if you are a Baptist before, and in order for you to join, whether to join or not the Adventist movement, should you go your former ministers and ask them? They will not speak any positive. They will discourage you and speak all negative things. So this is the reminder of B.T. Hotep here in General Conference Special, page 9. "Then too, no one should forget that when anyone joins the Adventist Church, he does so if he is in his right mind without the approval of his former ministers. Neither does he join the church, it says, because of a large membership or well-behaved people, but because he knows he has heard the truth as revealed by the spirit of prophecy itself. Since it was in pursuing this wise course that any of us ever came to accept the prophet and the message, so must it still be if we are to know and to receive Elijah. And in the last part, it says, the crown of life demands our most vigilant guarding of it, because a foul enemy seeks to wrest it from our grasp. General Conference Special, pages 9 and page 10. And I guarantee to you, you can never heard this message to any Davidian movement. It is only in the layman's movement. And they could not be able to present, brothers and sisters, more clearer than we thus present this message. The only thing that they could do is to speak evil, to speak negative things. That is the only thing that they could do. So thank you very much for listening and viewing this program. May the good Lord bless you and have a beautiful, wonderful evening.